Did you know that Ussher Fort in Ghana was once a notorious prison that held some of Ghana's most influential leaders, like Kwame Nkrumah, J.J. Rawlings, and even some reports mention J.A. Kufuor? This is Ussher Fort, one of Africa's most notorious prisons and one of Ghana's most haunting historical landmarks. Originally named Fort Krefke after a Dutch town, it was built in 1649 by the Dutch West India Company. It started off as a trading structure and later became a fort in 1649 during the transatlantic slave trade. The fort was used to imprison captives, and it was occupied by the Dutch until 1868. Britain declared the Gold Coast a crown colony in 1871, acquiring the fort and renaming it Ussher Fort after Governor Herbert Taylor John Ussher. At some point during the British colonial and post-independence period, it served as a state prison, with a dedicated block for political prisoners, including Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So he was imprisoned here before he was moved to James Fort. Aside Kwame Nkrumah, it is said that the other 5 members of the Big Sis were all imprisoned here. Now, people who are not Ghanaians may ask why they were imprisoned. So this was during their fight for independence for Ghana. So the political figures who were arrested were assigned to these blocks that were called the political blocks. Over the years, Ussher Fort has been used for 3 main purposes. First, it was used as the slave castle during the transatlantic slave trade. And then it was used as a prison during the British colonialism. Most recently, it was used as a refugee camp for the Sudanese refugees during the Darfur War. And now it stands as a museum with a dark history. But for decades, this fort became home to criminals, political detainees, and anyone the colonial government saw as a threat. Now, behind these cells, you'd find the structure, and it was a church that was used for worship by the slave masters first, before the prisoners. And this other structure close to the church is said to be a mosque that was also used for worship. So the stains you see here look like old paint or mold, but no. This is blood. Now, this is the execution chamber. These chambers were where death sentences were carried out. Some of the reasons for death sentences were like for violent crimes and for others resisting colonial rule. Listening to the tour guide made me extremely emotional. Like this was treacherous. So he explains that you decide what means you want to go by, and that could be through an electric shock or getting slaughtered. And I think the third one being, I'll just let you listen to him yourself. So he explains everything.
They will remove the ball and then you will have you die and then they will move you outside. If we also choose them by electric, see this. This was the electric shock. They use electricity to shock you, you will die. They move you outside. Those who also those who are so holding out prefer dying by
slaughtering. Yeah.
They'll just tie your hands. Please see, this blood. This is blood.
There is things.
Yeah. This was the blood of those
who were slaughtered.
Yes.
Ish. Terrible.
Finally, there's a pipe connecting here to the sea. After that, they'll just flush it.
Pathetic.
For decades, this fort became home to criminals, political detainees, and anyone the colonial government saw as a threat. Now, these were punishment cells and they were used to break stubborn prisoners. Some of the rooms barely enough to even lie down. Now, there were no proper toilets here, just these shallow pits that you're seeing, and they were connected to the sea. So imagine being locked up with no ventilation and the only sanitation system is this. I can't even imagine the stench from that time. Now let's go upstairs, and that's a view of the Jamestown fishing harbor over there. So the colonial masters would stand here to have a bigger view of the whole place, from oncoming ships to the ones leaving. Like they just get a better view from up here. And as prisoners, guards were also up here watching. Today, Ussher Fort has transitioned into a museum, carefully restored to preserve both the painful and inspiring moments of Ghana's past. It stands as a reminder of the brutality of the slave trade, the struggles under colonial rule, and the resilience of the Ghanaian spirit. Over here, you'd find items that were used during and after colonial rule. It will interest you to know that some slaves were even captured outside of Ghana, like Cote d'Ivoire and some surrounding countries, and then brought into Ghana to these forts. So I've always wanted to discuss this, so let me do it with you guys. Let me know in the comments, do you think we should preserve these structures since it holds like a dark past or history of the country? Let me know. Or do you think we need to remind ourselves of how resilient these people were and preserve these structures? I hope I was able to take you through one of Africa's notorious prisons, and now you have an idea of what it looks like and some of the experiences that people lived in here. Now, if you found this video interesting, please be sure to check out other contents on my channel and also subscribing for more interesting content on historical sites, and also leave your thoughts in the comments below. It's been nice having you here, and I hope to see you in the next one. It's Judas Lens. See ya.